Hello and welcome back to another troop tiers and base design video for Boom Beach. In this one we're going to go over the headquarters level 6 troop tiers. I believe that there is a humongous difference between headquarters 6 and headquarters 5, even though we don't actually unlock anything new. Starters, riflemen all the way up to S++. I believe they take precedent over the heavies and the Zookas, as 40 riflemen are way too much for the one mortar or two mortars that you're going to go up against. You're not seeing flamethrowers quite yet, so if you can kill the mortars and possibly kill the machine guns with your hero, then you're set. Now, in Headquarters 6, you do unlock cannons, which cannons are pretty good against heavies. So you're going to be going up against cannons more, and which weakens the overall usefulness of heavies. And with heavies, you always have your Zookas, so Zookas will also go down to S+, just because when heavies aren't as effective, your Zookas are more likely to take casualties. Flares. I've noticed that flares are so important. In multiplayer battles, you have to have them there in order to flank around the defenses to attack the HQ, as I've said in almost every video. At these lower levels, it is so pivotal to be able to understand that flares are almost just as important as artillery for when it comes to flanking around the opponent's base and getting behind the defenses and not even losing a single casualty of troops with the flares. And because riflemen are so effective in this, I'm putting medkits also at S+. I believe medkits just become so much more useful when you're using riflemen over heavies, as the riflemen are more susceptible to things like mortars, sniper towers, and machine guns. Medkits become the backbone of your army. And as per usual, the artillery ability is going to go to S++. When you're using riflemen, it's pivotal that you destroy anything that does lots of damage to a lot of troops. So if you can shoot the artillery at the mortars to kill it, and then use Briggs' artillery to kill the machine gun, you're set. And then you only have to go up against sniper towers and maybe a cannon. So her artillery ability with her range is very effective against a couple of machine guns. That way your riflemen stay alive a lot longer. Her shield ability, which grants resistance to your fellow troops, it's going to go to S tier. It's just not that effective. I've used it a couple times, but in comparison to the artillery, it's just not nearly as good. And her battle orders ability is also going to go in the S tier. It's not quite as effective as the artillery ability, and honestly I'd rather have the damage resistance ability, because I'm one of those people that likes to attack multiple times in a session. So if I can prevent my troops from dying, then that's what I'll take. So in Headquarters 6, like I said, we don't unlock anything, but I think, as I noticed, that riflemen become so good because of the lack of flamethrowers and machine guns and mortars, that they're going to go ahead S++. And even though I'm only using these top 3 tiers for right now, I really do think Headquarters 6 throws a wrench in the works of always using heavies and Zookas. But, to be honest, we're probably going to go right back to heavies and Zookas and Headquarters maybe 7, maybe 8, depending on how I view the riflemen. Now, moving over to my base design for Headquarters level 6, I'm using this kind of once again, checkered base design. I put the cannon in the middle, the 2 machine guns at the top as their close quarters damaging weapons. I put the sniper towers behind them with the mortar farther in the back. Now, I put the headquarters all the way behind my defenses, but notice how my sniper towers and even my mortar can target anything that comes around to flank my headquarters. As I said, should somebody dump all their troops over here near my idol, they can flare around to my sawmill and flare around to my residence and flare behind my headquarters, but it's not going to be too easy for them, as my sniper towers can shoot at them. So that's what I think is the most important thing in early headquarters, is make sure that when you're attacking, that you try and outflank the defenses, and that you make sure your defense can't be outflanked. Now, most people at this level aren't necessarily always the greatest players, so they're going to dump all their troops, right in front of these mines. They're going to take on the mines, take on the machine guns. They're going to try and maybe shock bomb your defenses, and that's why I have the machine gun 2 in front. That way they can only shock bomb maybe these 4 or 5 defenses, and they can't hit even the machine gun. So they kind of have to choose or use 2 shock bombs, which means a lot of their gunboat energy. So it's a pretty effective base design. Right now, like I've said, I'm running 40 riflemen, as well as Briggs and her cluster grenade ability, as I always call it, the artillery ability. When it comes to idols, just use whatever works for you. Right now, our idols, we can't even have that many, and they're not really all that effective because they're just idols and they're not like sculptures or statues. But eventually they'll become more important. I noticed that when I was going through Headquarters 6, stone was honestly very difficult to obtain, but that's okay. We'll be able to get a quarry in the next one, which produces stone like the sawmill or the residences. And the next one will also unlock another mortar and shock bomb. Shock bomb is a very, very effective ability. I think it's actually one of the best in the game. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you all enjoy.